Hejsa. It's something a little bit different today. There's no sewing involved. So I recently finished this sketchbook, so right now it is the start of February 2026. And I haven't dated many of the pages in the sketchbook, but there is one that tells me that I started the sketchbook in around, let's say, September 2021. So it has taken me over 4 years to fill up the sketchbook, and it's mainly because the paper it's very smooth and it's nice to draw on, but it doesn't take watercolor very well. So here you can see the first thing I did when I got this sketchbook was to test out watercolors and some pens, and yeah, made some notes. It doesn't like a lot of water. It takes ages to dry, which is not ideal because I like to sketch when I'm out and about, and if it takes a long time for the watercolor to dry, that's kind of a problem. Alright, so these are some sketches with a little bit of watercolor of just some random bits in my sewing room, and some drawings of my husband. He doesn't look like that. And testing some pencils and a drawing of something on TV. Yeah, here you can see October 2021. I drew our armchair, and it's a sort of blind contour drawing where you look at the thing that you're drawing without looking at the paper. And I drew it again. And this is the Italian word for armchair. I just like that word. And I feel like it really suits the object itself. Alright, these are some quick, I almost wouldn't call them drawings, more like marks. Trying to draw people while I was waiting for my husband when he was in the opticians. And some more there. And I think that was the last drawings in 2021, because then there's a jump to last year, I think February as well, where I guess I thought I should use up the sketchbook and not just waste it. So I used some pencils to draw tulips, and I drew the tulips again and again. Oh, and again. I really like drawing tulips. So for this I used a black pen, so a brush pen. I just did a loose drawing. Actually, I think I did the drawing or the colors first with, well, actually these pens or something similar, and then the brush pen on top. Tulips again, and armchair again. I have to put these papers between the pages because I think it's because the paper is so smooth that where I've used especially a lot of the color pencils, it just rubs off. Oh, here's the armchair again, several times. Dog. And this is the page where I realized that I needed to put something down, because you can see how, so when I drew on the other page, it transferred the pencil from here onto that page, which is not great because I actually really like this drawing of my shoes. And it's the same pair, just from different angles. And again the same pair, but in a different color. And this is a vase we've got, which I really like. And I did a quick sort of blank contour with the black brush pen, and then filled it in with watercolor pencils, which was quite fun. It's quite fun to, if you compare it with a slightly better drawing, and how you can sort of still get a sense of what it is. And here I drew some details from the vase, trying to make it into a pattern. And there's the armchair again, which is not yellow, it's actually a dark blue, but why not color it yellow? Candlesticks with a pattern on it for some reason. And then a lot of eyes. I couldn't remember why I had done this, but it says here, inspired by a photo on blue sky. And I think maybe this is the one that sort of replicates the photo I saw, which, if I recall correctly, it was some ancient figure or something. Last year my parents came to visit, and we were going on a trip down to see Dover Castle and Canterbury Cathedral, and I was hoping that I would get time to do a little bit of drawing at least. So I thought that before we went I would do some practice drawings. I think I just did it from Google Maps probably, so that I had sort of done it before I went there. And in my sketchbook, the one that I brought with me, I did actually draw this church, but I didn't draw these views here. And some practices from Canterbury Cathedral. I think I did draw something like this, not this exact place, but something like it. And but I actually really like these sketches. Kind of wish I'd just done it like that when I did it on location. There's a wooden figure we've got, and our dog again. Testing out some watercolor pencils, and again some testing some pens. And here just drew a random pattern. Can't even remember how. I think maybe I started with these sort of diamond shapes. More patterns. And some random flowers. And this, I don't know if you can tell, this is David Hockney. I was watching I think it was an interview with him. So I thought I would try and draw him. I'm not sure it's that great of a drawing, but I quite like it. And then he had this pin on his jacket, and it said, "End bossiness soon," which I thought was quite funny. And some random threads, some random flowers, more flowers. I think these were drawn from like a medieval herbal something or other, I can't remember. And windowsill, mainly done with this kind of marker. More patterns, and an oak spray that I drew when I was out for a little walk. I'm actually quite happy with how that turned out. And these ones I drew when I was out for another walk, or maybe the same walk, I can't remember. But I did it by placing the sketchbook behind these plants so that they cast a shadow, and then I drew the shadow on the page. That was actually quite fun. I'd quite like to do more of that once we actually get some sun. It feels like it's been raining all year. And this is from a talk or a course or something I watched online, where someone showed how to do a spread like this with different elements. It's quite fun. And here's the armchair again, because why not? And just with some random circles around it. I don't know what it is about this armchair that I just like drawing it so much. And some random circles. I'm not sure if I was intending on adding more to this, but can't be bothered now. And yeah, the back pages are just for wiping up paint or testing pens. So that's it. That's the finished sketchbook. I'm really pleased that I'm done with it, because I just didn't like that paper. Unfortunately, I've actually got another one that I bought at the same time, and I'm not sure what to do with it. I will use it, but obviously not for anything that involves a lot of watercolor, since it doesn't like that. And I've also got this from the same brand. I'm not sure if this is a similar kind of paper. And this is a concertina sketchbook. This actually looks like it's a watercolor paper. That's good. I can definitely use that for going out and drawing with watercolor paper. And this is my regular type of sketchbook. Sea White of Brighton. And I don't know if you can see that this paper is a bit more rough than the paper in here, so that actually takes watercolor really nicely. So this type is my favorite, at least for the moment. So now I just need to figure out what to do with this one. I might just use it for random scribbles, or I might do something like the where did they go? Yeah, like these ones. I think these work really well on this paper. Just watercolor pencil, or just colored pencils in general. So that might be something that I'm going to play with. So that's that. I think next time we'll have some sewing of some kind. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, whatever you're making.